Hi there, strikers. There's something uniquely disturbing about people vanishing into thin air. Read about these incredibly strange, unsolved cases. Although these disappearances span centuries, locations, age ranges, and circumstances, there's one common thread shared between them: a lack of closure. There are theories, speculations, and investigations, but never a decisive answer. On our incoming episode, I'm going to feature some of the cases of mysterious disappearances, of some missing that just disappear without any trace. Disappearance of Johan Asplund. He was last seen on his way to school, in his hometown of Sundsvall in the morning of November 7, 1980. Alleged serial killer Thomas Quick confessed to Asplund's homicide in 1993 and was convicted of the abduction and homicide in June 2002. Asplund's family is convinced Quick had nothing to do with Johan's disappearance and have appealed the conviction to the European Court of Law. Another man was convicted for the abduction of Johan in 1985. He was sentenced to 2 years, but was acquitted in 1986. In the morning of November 7, 1980, Johan's mother gave him breakfast in bed and then kissed him goodbye and left for work. When she came home 5 hours later, he was not there and she assumed he was at school. Later in the afternoon, he and a friend were to be picked up by Johan's father and spend the weekend with him. When his father arrived, he still hadn't come home. When they called his school, they found out he hadn't been there at all. Police was summoned at 14:40 p.m. A classmate who lived in the same apartment building met him in the stairwell just as he left the apartment. Thomas Quick, who took back his birth name Bergwall, recanted his confession in 2008. Recanted his confession in 2008 and was later acquitted. By then, Johan's presumed murder had been statute barred in 2005 and therefore no one can be charged. In the summer of 2014, a man confessed on an iPhone movie clip that he's responsible for Johan's abduction and death. On the morning of November 7, 1980, just moments after Johan's mother left the apartment, he called and Johan answered the phone. The man convinced him that they needed to talk and offered him a ride to school. Johan agreed and they met up in the parking lot. The man said he promised Johan a muffin and soft drink and drove off to a local supermarket. Afterwards he started to drive to a more remote area, and when Johan said he needed to get to school, he put a cloth with chloroform over his face and Johan fell unconscious. He put a blanket over Johan and drove off to a cabin in a remote area. He said that when they arrived he couldn't wake Johan. He was dead, and the man panicked and wrapped his body in blankets and tied up with a rope and hid the body in the woods. He cleaned up all evidence in the cabin and then went back in the woods and buried Johan's body. He later broke into Sundsvall's hospital and burned some of Johan's belongings. He claims that he never meant to kill Johan.